Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in today's first video to JMA Friday for today's first video. So as always on a Friday, we're having a look at weather compared with Japanese and CFSV2 models. So it's going to take us just to the beginning of the new year. I think we get to New Year's Day, actually, with the JMA 4-week look at today. So, yeah, I shall get on that view very shortly. I just say that coming up later on today, we're going to have a 10 to 14 day bit update, including all of regular features. And then we're going to have the ECMWF 42 day look at, 6-week look at with the ECMWF around 5-6-ish this evening. That's going to be great. And then up 10 we'll be live streaming. We'll have a live stream with the GFS 18Z, aka the pub run. And we'll have a bit of a laugh, and that'll be a lot of fun, and that'll be coming up for you after 10 o'clock tonight. Right, so kicking it all off is JMA Friday, and so we're going to look at the 500 millibar height anomalies from the North Pole view down. First of all, so this is the North Pole of the Northern Hemisphere just here. We've got a wider Arctic Circle around there, and then of course we've got mid-latitudes through here. Blue is extrapolated to below average heights, which is low pressure, yellow, orange and red, to above average heights, which is high pressure. These are broken down to week periods. The first week period takes us from the 4th through to the 11th of December. The coming week will have above average heights, ridging through the North Atlantic and going up to Northern Europe as well, with below average heights across western parts of Europe, a trough of low pressure in west of Europe, and winds are coming in from like a northerly direction. So under the trough of low pressure, it could be unsettled, with winds in from a north-northeasterly direction. It will be quite cold as well. So yeah, it looks pretty cold and quite unsettled for week 1, taking us from the 4th through to the 11th of December across not just the UK, but much of Western Europe. Week 2 will be the 11th through to the 18th of December, with above average heights again in the middle of the North Atlantic and extending up into the Arctic, so northern blocking signal there. Below average heights to our south, winds in from an easterly direction. And so that looks like potentially could be quite a cold week as well, and quite unsettled too, with winds coming from the east. Low pressure to the south could provide some precipitation across Western Europe, so there is a risk of some wintry weather, I would have thought, in with that for western parts of Europe, and just generally quite a coldish sort of feel. And then weeks 3 and 4 will take us from the 18th of December through to the 1st of January, through to New Year's Day. And still looking pretty cold here, actually, with, again, above average heights in the North Atlantic extending back into the Arctic. So northern blocking, below average heights across Western Europe. Winds, again, coming in from an easterly or sort of northeasterly direction. Trough of low pressure is going to be providing precipitation. So it could, again, be quite unsettled there, even into the second half of December, and quite cold as well. The risk of some colder and more unsettled conditions into the second half of December. Potentially with the JMA looking pretty chilly on this update today, I think. Right, so these are going to be the mid-latitude charts from the JMA. So let's just have a very quick look at these then, shall we? So this is going to be the week 1. 500 millibar height anomaly. British Isles is in the top right-hand corner of the chart as you are looking at it. So a reminder of the week 1 500 millibar height anomaly, with the below average heights over to the south of the country, the above average heights ridging through the North Atlantic on the cold side of jet stream. So yeah, we're looking like we have quite a cold and unsettled week there. The temperature anomaly for week 1, taking us from the 4th to the 11th of December, is below average. A cold and average week is coming up. And although we're in a trough of low pressure, or close to trough of low pressure, it isn't particularly unsettled. That's because cold air doesn't hold as much moisture as mild air. So there will be some precipitation around, so it could be wintry. The overall anomaly, though, is actually a little bit drier than average. Right, this is going to be week 2. So this one is going to take us from the 11th through to the 18th of December. Again, with the below average heights to the south, the above average heights ridging through Northern Europe and extending back into the Arctic. Winds again being pulled in from an east or northeasterly direction. Temperature anomalies are forecast to be rather colder than average again in week 2 from the 11th to the 18th of December. Below average temperature anomalies, not quite as cold as it is in week 1, but nevertheless still below average. And it is still on the dry and average side as well. So a rather dry but a cold week 2. And then weeks 3 and 4 is going to get us from the 18th of December through to New Year's Day, the 1st of January. This is how we look. We're under a trough of low pressure then across the UK and Western Europe. There's higher pressure within the northern latitudes as well. Temperature anomalies are still forecast to be cold average. It's cold December being forecast by the JMA model today. Definitely is colder than average temperature anomalies again for weeks 3 and 4. Will raise the prospect potentially of, you know, like a cold at Christmas potentially. Still moving on the dry and average side though. So this is something you do find that when you have a cold month, it does tend to be drier, even if there is precipitation around. You're in a trough of low pressure. Generally, cold air holds less moisture than warm air or mild air. So yeah, I mean, it's not overly wet, but it is cold, and what precipitation there is could, of course, with cold and average temperatures, be wintry. So a very interesting update from the JMA today. Let's see how the CFSV2 compares. So again, these are 500 of our heights breaking down into week periods. The first week period takes from the 4th to the 10th of December. The coming week, again, very much in line with the JMA, with high pressure Mid-Atlantic ridge through North Atlantic and extending back into the Arctic, Scandinavia as well. Trough of low pressure across Western Europe. Winds coming in from the northeast. The jet streams push southwards. So looking cold and unsettled in week 1 with a risk of some wintry potential. Week 2 is the 11th to the 17th of December. Below average heights to our south, but also coming back to the north to some degree. This is trying to re-establish a westerly flow. There's still high pressure up towards Scandinavia, trying to continue to bring in cold air from the east. But I think overall that's trying to get us back into a milder westerly flow. It might be a little bit transitional back to something milder. Now this does look milder. This is week 3 and is at odds with the JMA. Today this is the 18th to 24th of December, Christmas Eve, with high pressure in the Atlantic and to our south and also to our east. Low pressure to the northwest. Winds are being pulled in from a west or southwesterly direction. That's turning milder as we move up towards Christmas, turning milder with a return of westerly winds. And then week 4 looks as though it could be very mild, actually. This is Christmas Day to New Year's Eve, 25th to 31st of December, with high pressure then to our south and east, low pressure to our north-northwest. Winds are in from the southwest here. That will be very mild Christmas week being forecast there by the CFS. Again, completely at odds with what the JMA is showing today. JMA wants to keep it cold in the second half of December. CFS says no, we turn mild into the second half of December. So temperature anomalies for week 1 from the 4th to the 10th of December are colder than average. Quite significantly so, actually. Week 2 from the 11th to 17th of December sees a bit of a recovering temperature taking place. It's not particularly mild, but obviously it is getting a little bit milder there as we run in towards the middle part of December. But the real mild weather starts getting going in week 3. This is the 18th, 24th of December. Very mild then. And then we go through to week 4, and it's very, very mild indeed. This is Christmas Day to New Year's Eve. Christmas week looks very, very mild here, with very substantially above average temperatures. Indeed, around 2 degrees above average there on the scale. So a really mild Christmas coming up, if that's right. Remember, the JMA is much colder though. And then precipitation, so week 1, 4th to 10th of December, near normal precipitation in week 1 to a bit on the drier side. No signal really for week 2, very weak signals for week 2, 11th to the 17th of December. Week 3 starts to go wetter than average from the west. 18th of December to Christmas Eve, starting to go wetter than average as the westerlies return. And then week 4, which is Christmas Day to New Year's Eve, is also looking rather wet than average, particularly so for more northern and western parts of the country. So that's it. They're at odds, aren't they? We have got agreement for like the next week, which is going to be cold. And then the JMA wants to extend that cold weather out through the remainder of December. Really, obviously there are anomalies, so there could be some milder days mixed in. But generally, the JMA is looking cold today for December. Cold December with the JMA. The CFS wants to very quickly start turning things milder into the middle part of December, and then the second half of the month, CFS today is forecasting to be very mild, especially so around the Christmas to New Year period, where the temperatures really do push up as those southwesterlies get back in. So we're just going to have to wait and see. You know, they're completely at odds, and so all we can say is that it's going to be cold in the next week, and then really we just have to wait and see where things go from there. Do we have a quick return of the westerlies, the southwesterlies, or do we see the cold weather continuing into the second half of December? That'll be a question, and we shall find out very, very soon. It won't be long before we know. Okay, so that's it for JMA Friday for this week. Just a snapshot of what these models are showing. They could all look very, very different next week. Of course, any forecast beyond 5-7 days comes with big health warnings. We're going to be back with your 10 to 14 day bit of date between all our regular features. And then we're going to have the ECMWF 6 week look ahead for you around 5-6 o'clock this evening. Don't forget the live stream after 10. So JMA Friday for this week, though, that's all for now. And thanks for watching.